Hello and good day, Welcome to the Super Good Camping Podcast. My name is Pamela.
I'm Tim.
And we are from supergoodcamping.com. We are here because we are on a mission to inspire other families to enjoy camping adventures such as we have with our kids. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about geeking out on stars while you're camping. So immersing yourself in the wonders of nature, looking at the night sky, especially when you're away from our light pollution here in the city, makes such a difference as far as what you can see, how many stars you can see. It's just so much more awe-inspiring than it is when you're sitting here in Toronto. We don't have so much.
We have tons of light pollution.
We have tons.
Although that said, we do get a bit of stargazing going on sometimes.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about stargazing apps, stargazing photography, and highlight some of the best places in Ontario when you're camping to observe the stars and constellations. So first, choose the right time and location. Plan your camping trip when there's a new moon is sometimes a good time if you're looking for the moon. When it's in the crescent phase to minimize light pollution from the moon. And then maximize your stargazing visibility. Check out campsites away from major cities and urban areas so that you don't get so much light pollution from them.
Okay, so research your astronomical events. There are all kinds of resources to check to see what's coming up, like meteor showers, eclipses. Pretty cool when you see like 4 planets in the sky, which look like stars, but they aren't. I often used to, more so when the kids were kids, we would go up and we would catch a part of a meteor shower or watch the ISS, the International Space Station, because it's all silver, so it reflects light. I'm still blown away like decades later.
When our kids were younger, it was around the time that Canadian Chris Hadfield was aboard the ISS, and we just loved being able to kind of see him go overhead.
Go up and watch it, and it lasts anywhere from, depending on the passes aren't always the same. It could be just above the horizon. It would last for 2.5 minutes, but it could be directly overhead and would be coming up on, say, 8 minutes when it goes over. It's so cool. It's like, oh, there's a star. Oh no, that's the International Space Station.
And what? Hi.
And the Canadian guy's running it.
Well, and Tim actually gets notifications from NASA about when the ISS is passing over, what time and how long it's going to be.
Yep. And I also signed up to skyandtelescope.org. They send me a weekly that tells me about things like meteor showers or eclipses or planetary alignments.
Which is cool. So get familiar with the night sky before you go. You can do some stargazing from home. Spend some time learning about constellations and stars and other, like even sometimes we can see Mars, I think, depending on
I've seen Jupiter. Mars. I think I've seen Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. I'm almost positive Neptune at some point. Maybe more. I remember there was a 4-planet like line of them that was really cool one time.
You can use mobile apps like Skyview, Starwalk, or Stellarium to help assist trying to identify what it is you're looking for. And just by pointing your phone, so you install the app on your phone and then you point your phone up to the sky and it will help you figure out what you're looking at.
Yeah, and I use Sky Safari. They're all very similar things. For me, it's about free. Proper equipment. So a surprising amount of it can be seen by the naked eye, but it's also pretty cool. We have a telescope, not easy to lug into the back country, but it is pretty easy to lug into the front country if you've got enough space. And it's amazing. Like you look at the moon, it's just mind-boggling. Like you can see. We've all seen the pictures of it. You can actually see that with your own deal. I almost always take binoculars because it's how many ever times magnification, and that's usually enough. Like the space station, you can see the arms and stuff on the space station. Like you can, the individual bits, the solar panels. It doesn't take a lot to. It doesn't take a lot to blow my mind, but it doesn't take a lot to make something like that be just amazing, and you can hand it around to everybody. The nice thing about binoculars is because they're not crazy magnification. It's not, if you breathe, you've blipped off of it and you'll never find it again through the viewfinder. There you go.
Which can happen with telescopes, but they provide a bit more of a detailed view of planets and even other galaxies. Imagine that, look at other galaxies.
Well, I don't know that. I suppose ours is okay and might see, but it's not the James Webb.
It's not the Hubble telescope.
There you go.
Yeah. And then capturing the night sky. So if you're interested in photography and you want to take some pictures of what you're seeing, so you bring your camera with some manual settings and a tripod, unless you're able to stand perfectly still for a very long period of time, because I think otherwise you have to be just motionless.
Yeah, you can't. No. Tripod it is.
And then experiment with using long exposures, just because that's what will allow you to get those. Tim's done lots of like sunrise, sunsets kind of photography.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of night sky stuff. I don't really have the patience for it, but I did buy for an ancient camera. It's an old Canon, a G3 or something like that. I bought a controller that I could set to do that long exposure time lapse sort of deal. And I think I got one decent capture, like the Milky Way or something like that. Although all blurred out around the edges because I did it here on top of our roof. But yeah, it's not rocket science. You just have to have patience and take some gear with you.
Well, and if you're out at night, obviously for stargazing, it can get cooler at night. So like it might be that it's a nice balmy 21 during the day, but then it drops down to 12 degrees at night. And then you might be a little more chilly. So you might need some extra layers. You might need some gloves or hats or blankets to help keep warm while you're laying there stargazing.
Or, as I have actually done, if you're going to go up and watch a meteor shower and fall asleep during, because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, take a sleeping bag.
Yeah. And maybe your thermarest or whatever, your
right. Yep.
sleeping pad.
Yep. Try to find places that have. Well, actually, you know what? We'll get to that in a second. Minimize light pollution. So if you're sitting around the campfire, you're kind of boned. You'll see some stuff. You won't see, I don't know, a tenth of what's actually up there because your night vision will be ruined by staring at the campfire. Using things like red lights, flashlights, and I want to say the Lucy lights. I know they have red, but I can't remember if it's a blinking red. But red lights don't wreck your night vision, or they're much less. It's the same as they do when they're in military vehicles and they're going to go out on a night thing. Everything's red. It doesn't ruin your night vision. It doesn't. You can see a lot more. Your pupils will be more dilated, I think is the right term.
And you can just wrap a piece of red cellophane over your regular flashlight, so you don't have to go buy special red flashlights.
That's true, but I think a lot of them have that option now because it's LEDs, so it's just about changing the frequency in the LED, which is fairly easy stuff to do these days.
Well, and learn constellations. I mean, that's it's fun sometimes. Just you wander out, even here in Toronto at night, we can still see some of the constellations. Orion is my very favorite one, just because I find it so easy to spot because of the 3 kind of distinctly placed stars across Orion's belt. So you just look up, okay, there's those 3 stars on a line, that's Orion's belt.
Big Dipper, Little Dipper.
And so understanding the difference of them helps you just to get your bearings around the night sky too. So if you spot Orion, okay, I know from there I can see this from there, and I'll be able to see that. So anyway, you can kind of use a constellation to help get your bearings around other ones.
Yeah, well, and again, back to the app. If you point your phone at the sky, you can look at it. It will usually, depending on, there's different modes, but you can have it map out the constellation that you're looking at, and then you can peek over the top of your phone and see the constellation right there. It's pretty. I quite enjoy doing that. Look for expertise. There's often some kind of astronomical group or a club that is, they tend to be local as opposed to big ones, which is great because then you can get a dozen people together to do some stargazing, go out into the local park or our next place. Best campgrounds in Ontario for stargazing.
So there are some places that are designated as dark sky preserves, which seems, animal preserves, but it's like we actually have to preserve our dark sky because we pollute it so badly with the light pollution. But there's a few great places in Ontario that do have dark sky preserves. There's a few places in Ontario that do have dark sky preserves. One of them is Killarney Provincial Park, which was where we've been.
Yep.
Quetico and Lake Superior Provincial Park, Manitoulin Eco Park, and Bruce Peninsula National Park, and Fathom 5 National Marine Park.
That's so that's the dark sky preserves that we have. And I would say probably something in the realm of 90-ish%, 85% of the provincial parks here in Ontario. And probably, for those of you south of the border, I would imagine most of your state parks are also, well away from the light pollutions from the big cities and stuff like that. Like so here, if you go on to Algonquin, especially if you're not right on Highway 60, which is the main corridor through Algonquin Park, it's very close to a dark sky preserve. Pinery is also great for. It's a Grand Bend is the closest town. Yes. It's a tiny little place, so there's not a lot of light pollution there. And Point Farms Provincial Park apparently is quite good too, although I haven't been, but I've heard good things about it.
Well, and we've found even like Presqu'île, places like that, which are just obviously not Toronto, have been good too for just being able to tilt your head up and see a lot more stars than we see here.
Yep.
So we get an amazing opportunity here in Ontario at our provincial parks to escape from the city lights, see some really beautiful night sky. So following these tips may help you spot some stars and constellations and planets of your own. So take your camping gear, explore the wilderness, and let the space unveil itself to you. That's it for us for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please do reach out to us. We're on all the social media, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We would love more subscribers on a YouTube channel, and you can listen to us anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. Please do email us at hi@supergoodcamping.com. That's hi@supergoodcamping.com, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.